Hi guys, welcome to my Dublin vlog. This is when I went to Dublin for the first time after having stayed in Ireland for about 1 year and 3 months. This was my first experience seeing Dublin and moving around in Dublin. So I just wanted to share it with you. I know it's a very delayed post, but then I just thought let me just post it and get it out of my gallery. So yeah, this was us getting into Dublin and I was just taking everything in. The main event I went for that weekend was an annual party called SummerYomuthi, consisting mainly of lionesses, but yeah, multicultural. If you enjoy some amapiano, if you enjoy South African music, a lot of it is played at that party. So it's an annual party, hoping that they'll organize one for this year. So yeah, before we knew it, we were at the first stop from where I was coming from. I'm from County Tipperary, so this was the first stop where you can get bullet trains and connect to other places. And yeah, it was just nice seeing. There's not much of this activity where I'm from in Clonmel. It's a very small place. You wouldn't see so many people at one go. You wouldn't see trains like this or buses come in and out that much. And the main bus that comes from Clonmel to Dublin is the JJ Covenant bus, and that's the one I always catch because it passes through the little village I stay in, 30 minutes out of Clonmel, but on the way to Dublin as well. So yeah, the weather was very good on this day. A friend of mine, my big sister rather, Samu, was hosting me for the day before we went to the party. So we met up. We were to meet up actually for lunch and then go check into the hotel and then prepare for the party that we were attending that night. But before that, we were at the second station, which is the Euston station. I think this is, I don't know if it's the main station in Dublin or one of the biggest stations, train stations there. But yeah, we passed through there and pick up and drop offs as usual. So we're now entering the city center at this point. I was just observing and taking everything in and just looking at the surroundings, looking at the buildings, looking at the difference from the difference of the buildings from where I'm from in Tipperary. But then yeah, one thing that would be the same would be the restaurants on the sides of the road. The culture here is to eat and wine and dine a lot of the time. People love to eat out, so you'll find a lot of restaurants around. You'll find a lot of restaurants around in most of the towns and the cities. And yeah, UNICEF there, for those who know what UNICEF stands for. And yeah, so before we knew it, we were in the city center and I was at my drop-off point. Those are the taxis. Something also that we don't really have where I'm from. You wouldn't find taxis easily, or the ones labeled, or even a taxi app wouldn't work in our area. So it's nice to be in a big city where you know you can go wherever you want because transport is easily accessible. So yeah, that's more of Dublin. Yeah, everything you can think of is there. At this point, I just dropped off. I was kind of
hi guys, I'm in Dublin now, waiting for my friend to pick me up.
Popular drop-off spot where the buses were continuously dropping people, and across the way there you can see the double-decker buses, something also that's not familiar from my side of the country. And yeah, it's more, Dublin is very touristy. Like you can see a lot of people are coming in and out. There's lots of tourists, lots of traveling going on. And yeah, so at this point I was just vlogging.
Hi guys, I'm in Dublin, being hosted by my big sister, Samu. We're having lunch, and then a party later on.
Fun. Then she took me on a Dublin tour. So you hop on the bus, on the hop-on buses, you know, the double-decker ones, where you sit, it's like
north side of the city right now at the moment.
Once you go on a tour.
This monument you see here to your right hand side is of Daniel himself. And Daniel O'Connell is known in history as the great liberator or emancipator, as it was Daniel O'Connell who achieved emancipation for Catholics here in Ireland back in 1829. So what we're going to do, we're going to rewind just a couple of years back to the year 1690. And in the year 1690, penal laws were introduced by the British here in Ireland, which basically took away all rights of Irish Catholics. So with these penal laws, it meant that the Irish people weren't allowed to speak their native language, which was Gaelic. They weren't allowed to practice their religion, being Catholic. They weren't allowed to send their children to school or college. They weren't allowed to own land. They weren't allowed to vote. They basically took away all the rights of the Irish people. And more tragically, of course, they weren't allowed to own a horse valued at more than £5. But that will change with Daniel O'Connell and Catholic emancipation. With Daniel O'Connell, he achieved his goals by peaceful means. He spent a lot of time in France and witnessed a lot of violence over there, and so he failed to always achieve his goals by peaceful means, and that's exactly what he did. He became a member of Parliament in Westminster, and it was from there where he managed to repeal the penal law. Look at the monument of Daniel there itself. You'll see the four winged figures at the base of the monument, and these represent Daniel O'Connell's four virtues, which are courage, eloquence, patriotism and fidelity. And if you can see closely, if you look here at I think it's courage on her right hand side, you'll see there's a bullet hole in her left breast, and there's other bullet holes in this monument, of course a reminder of the 1916 Rising. So we're now crossing over O'Connell Bridge, crossing over the River Liffey, and of course the River Liffey divides the city into two parts, north and south. So we're leaving the north side behind us and we're now heading onto the south side. If I have to talk over you, it's not very fair with other people, and it's not very fair to the people who may want to listen to what's going on. So we just ask people for a bit of silence. If you don't want to be on board, that's absolutely fine. The buses are full, the stops are full. Lots of people who would want to be on to be listened. So if we just ask people to keep their voices down, that'd be great.
Sorry. Frankie.
The left-hand turn here rather onto Kildare Street, and as we do, look there at your right-hand side and you'll see the National Library of Ireland. There's a brilliant W.B. Yeats exhibition going on there at the moment. Of course, entrance into the gallery, or the library rather, is absolutely free of charge and will be open today on Queen Elizabeth. The women were actually not allowed to enter into the college. The college is only open to men. And of course, here in Ireland we call the head of the college, they're called a provost. And one of the most controversial provosts of the college was a man called George Temple Bar. This is our next stop, stop at number 11. Temple Bar is all over there to your right hand side. So it's about one, there's Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald is over there to your right hand side. The mascot of McDonald's. The Temple Bar is over there to your right hand side. It's not one, it's one area, but it's a 1 kilometre length.
Oh yeah.
So once you're headed there, you'll find pubs and everything. Now coming up on our left hand side of these traffic lights is Dublin Castle, and this marks the start of the They founded Dublin as a walled city, so of course the city of Dublin back then was completely surrounded by walls, and of course we're now in the heart of the walled city. Dublin Castle is here on the left hand side. It was founded back in 1204 by King John. Now, the castle has served many purposes over the years. It's previously been a prison, a law court, a treasury, and a seat of British administration for almost 800 years. So this here is our next stop. This is one of two incidentally then what happened was the cat was chased and Mother was there. The others of course being an Irish great man. So see here to your right hand side. And of course this site you had to was originally laid out in the 1600s as a hunting.
And this is our room. So the theme was old school, guys. I didn't go all out on this. I just went simple, but everyone was looking good. The decor lady rose to the occasion, did the things. Those were some of the outfits that were pulled off for the party. So old school, back in the days, what our parents wore back in the days. Even the men showed up. It was lovely. And the food, yes, the food was okay. Those are some snippets. The drinks were good too, some dessert. And before we knew it, it was boogie time.
Inside, you know me, everybody's a big dance. So I do this song to teach you the basic steps. I think you know the
Before I knew it, night, it was time to go home. This was the last pictures, and then it was the following day. Thank you to my host, Samu, love you. And then on the way home, still in Dublin though, in the bus, there was a match on that day, and you can see how much the Irish generally love sport and how much they come out and support. They were all in their teams t-shirts, and it was just nice to see. Like it's like what the little families spend their time doing. It's all about the sports, the matches. Most of their weekends are spent at matches where the kids are playing, or just in support of any sport that is going on.